Look, I've done so much research on self-transformation. I've gone through all the things, the cold showers, the lifting, the meditations. And I know that the simplest way to begin is with the breath. And that's where we're gonna begin today. Whether it's a new year or a new day, transformation is a breath away. So the breath is one of the most powerful tools for transformation, both in a literal and a metaphorical sense. I know that when I was looking to change my life, I was facing a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and I was also facing a lot of insecurity, a lot of doubts. But I always went back to my breath. And in this video, we're gonna take a deep breath and a deep dive into what it looks like to transform into a bigger and better self. So let's begin. So first, we're gonna take a look at how the breath transforms us in a literal sense. There are two ways that your breath can affect your transformations. And the first one is the one that I am most familiar with, which is just taking a deep breath, taking a pause whenever you're stressed out. Doing this has always allowed me to feel more connected, feel more present, and just slow down the situation, especially when I'm facing a stressful situation. But aside from that, there are many benefits to breathing deeply. So the first benefit of deep breathing is that it decreases stress and increases calm. It relieves pain, it stimulates the lymphatic system, basically detoxifies the body, it improves immunity, it increases energy, lowers blood pressure, improves digestion, and it helps support correct posture. Now, those are just a few benefits from deep breathing, and it's something that I've definitely incorporated in my meditation practice. And the second way that deep breathing can be transformational for you is through the Wim Hof techniques.
We do not need psychotherapy. Fuck off. Just a little bit breathing. Just bring back the control within yourself. Connect back with the body. This time we are able to cleanse it all.
A deep breath is something that you can always do in order to improve your awareness of the situation and also improve your reasoning skills. So next time when you're facing a difficult and stressful situation, you can always look at your breath to change the situation right away. I always start my meditations off with a few deep breaths in order to center myself and to know where I'm at. And it has become a key tool for me whenever I'm interacting with people in my day-to-day. So now I want you to take a deep breath. Because we're about to take a deep dive into the metaphorical usage of the breath. In order for this to work, you need to visualize in your head what it is like to experience breathing. There is an inhalation, a pause, an exhalation, and then another pause. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna add meaning to every single one of these steps so that we can use the breath for our transformation. So the metaphorical way of seeing the breath will be as follows. Consumption, which is the inhalation of the breath. Creation, which is the pause after the inhalation. Expression, which is the exhalation of the breath. And then reflection, which is the pause after the exhalation. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is consumption. And I want you to think about consumption not just in the sense of inhalation, not just in the sense of your nose consuming your environment. You don't just consume through your nose, you consume through your eyes with the things that you see, with your ears, with the things that you listen, with your mouth, with the things that you eat, and with your skin, with the things that you touch and feel. So there's a very important principle hidden in this, which is that you are what you eat. And I want to expand on that and say that you are what you consume. You are the result of the 5 people closest to you. Tell me who you hang out with and I will tell you who you will become. This is just a basic principle of life. And most importantly, I want you to be aware that you consume with where you put your attention. Your attention is everything. If you want to become a better person, I want you to think about these 5 areas of your life, okay? So to me, consumption looks like reading a book, researching online, listening to a podcast, hiring a coach, so that they can tell me all the information that I need to know so that I can go about transforming my life. So what I want you to do right now is to think about all of these things that you're consuming through your sensory experiences. Look into exactly how they affect your body, because most of it is going to be noise when it comes to your goals. Plan to reduce the noise and select the positive things that will allow you to grow. And after you consume, your body then starts to create. You start making new connections in your head about new things, new places, new experiences, and you start creating a new system within your mind. I like to call this form of creation synthesis. Synthesis can be defined as the combination of ideas to form a theory or system. It is when you take in all of your experiences and produce something new from them. A new way of thinking, a new way of seeing the world. And this is different from consumption because of the fact that you're not just adding on to your body, but you're breaking things down and seeing the world from a completely different perspective. And I do want to tackle creativity really quick because people think that you have to be a genius in order to be creative. But in reality, we're also creators and we're also people who create our reality. The most creative people are those that are resourceful. They're the ones who make the most out of nothing. It isn't so much about your situation, but more so what you do with your situation. So the way you become an effective creator is by creating principles. So I'm going to explain the way we go about creating principles or the way I go about doing it. So we have an experience, and with that experience we have a lot of thoughts. We have emotions associated with it. We have suffering. We experience many things that go through our body, right? And with every experience, there's a lesson that lies within it. But a lot of people are running around and they just keep expanding. Like they just keep adding on more and more noise into them. They just keep consuming. They keep adding on more stuff. And they never stop to introspect. They never think. They never question. What do all these experiences have in common? What do all of these things say about me? And how am I able to convert these things into something useful, into something helpful, right? And that something helpful or useful is a principle. And principles basically are the broken down version of your experiences. You can either learn from others or you can learn through your experience. And when you go through your experiences, you're supposed to derive lessons from them. You're supposed to derive principles, things that work. Maybe you learn that in these experiences it's probably not a very good idea to lie. And so then you create the principle of never lying. And so all of these things, these principles will be in some sort of alignment to a virtue or to an ideal. And the more you keep aligning your principles to these things, the more you'll be able to get closer and closer to that person you want to become. And you will experience transformation. And now I will talk about creating systems, as it is another form of creation. I always like to bring up systems because of the fact that it isn't really your goals that define who you are, but rather your habits. And habits are really systems within your mind. I want people to recognize that it isn't just information that makes you a genius. It's your ability to expand and contract that information to your liking, to take it and put it in whatever you want to use it so that you can become a better person. So once you consume and you realize that meditation and eating healthy is integral for being successful, then you might start to create systems around that. You might meditate in the morning and you might stop buying unhealthy foods. You might stop buying junk food. And therefore, you have just created a lifestyle that is much closer to the life that you desire. And the third and most powerful way of looking at creation is to see it as a form of a proactive approach to life. You have to ask yourself, are you reacting or creating in your situation? You will know that you're living in reaction because you're stressed out, you're avoiding your problems, you have no locus of control, and you keep playing the victim. When you're acting as a creator, you are looking at every single situation from an objective point of view without any judgment. You are then able to analyze the situation and use whatever is happening as a way to create a better situation. The next step is exhalation, or as I like to say, expression. What is expression? This is when you're giving out to the world. You're giving what you have just created. You are embodying the principles that you have just concluded from your experiences. You start speaking your truth. You start living in gratitude rather than in stress. And you don't have to be loud about your expression. Expression is more a sense of embodiment than a show. If you find out that lying doesn't help you out and you want to create a system that basically says no lying no matter what circumstances, and you start living that truth, you are already becoming the person that you want to become. And so expression doesn't have to be complicated. It's more about living the life that you already have in your head. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to express that by hitting the like button down below, because it's going to help reach more people, which will in turn lead to more transformations. And the next step is reflection. After expression, you're able to reflect on your life. And reflection comes from looking at what kind of impact you're creating through expressing yourself. You think about all the things that you have consumed and how those things have impacted your growth, and you think about all the people you have influenced and the overall feeling that you have generated within your body. And reflection to me looks a lot like journaling. I'm always going back and thinking about what has worked, what has not worked, what do I want to do next, where do I want to go next, what do I need to look into. It's just a constant checkup, a review of my experience with the aim to enhance my further experiences. And so that's all about the breath. So make sure to check out this video on meditation so that you know how to use the breath in meditation and what effect that can bring into your life. Make sure to stay lucid. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.